Good morning everybody and welcome back to another video where after a year and a half of waiting it is finally time to take a look at well, what you're seeing in front of you, and that of course is the minifigure frames that I have been talking about being so unique for the last year and a half, just like I mentioned. And as you can see, I have well, a couple stacked up over here. I have 4 in total now, which is more than I did a year and a half ago. And today we're going to take a look at their contents as well as go through their design nice and briefly for you, and show off how I store my CMFs. So I guess for a bit of context, I have over 100 collectible minifigures from the collectible minifigure series, and I have been invested in this line since the very beginning of series 1. You're looking at my first one right in front of you right now, the wrestler. I believe it was from series 1, and I can remember when this line retailed for 99 Great British pounds back in the day, and of course that goes all the way up to £3.50 in there. So a bit of specs on the frames. Of course, they are 5 shelves deep, containing 10 minifigures per shelf, which is 50 minifigures per frame. So as you can see, I have a bit of extra space for the future, and we have some interesting other figures to take a look at in that last frame. They are organised by year, so we start with series 1 down here, going all the way down, and we will talk through them in just a second. And you may notice the reflections in the room. I've tried to minimise them as much as possible, but of course this is some perspex on this wooden frame. So of course the question is, how do I open such a thing? And that is simple. We have a nice big sheet here which comes out of the top, and then I can access them. So we're going to take that off for today to minimize all of the reflections. I'll just lay this back, and now you can see that also these shelves are just using the mica block tape, which is the one non-Lego component I use in a lot of my storage means and displays and things. We just put the Santa minifigure back, and they stick quite well. Obviously I'm showing you 2 of the ones that have fallen over, but I've just taken these guys off the wall, and that is of course a bit of chaos. But you can see that these are just hang frames, painted white, and with a white backer and the mica tape, like I said, to hold them up. So let's just take a quick look at this first frame, and then we can move on to the second one. The idea being that all 4 of them are identical, although not quite. So of course we have the wrestler from series 1, as well as the caveman and the robot. Then we move into series 2, one of my early favourites, with the pharaoh, the mime, and the mariachi, and of course the weightlifter. And bearing in mind also that series 1 to 11 were unfelt series. I didn't know how to feel at that point, they are all random and luck-based guesses. You've also got these gap here in between the mime and the sumo wrestler. Now there's 4 gaps in this first frame, and that is purely for characters that I have half the pieces for, but I haven't finished buying the rest on Bricklink. There were 4 minifigures which I had like legs and hats for, so they are currently in that pile ready to be rebuilt whenever I make the correct orders, and then they will fill these gaps here. So I believe that one there is the circus ringleader from series 2. We then move into series 3 with the sumo wrestler, samurai, and then series 5 with the Godzilla guy and the British Royal Queen's Guard thing here, which are 2 figures that again I got by luck, and I'm really pleased I did, because this guy's awesome, particularly for series 5. I would have absolutely loved him back in the day. You can tell by how wobbly his legs are, and he's just awesome. He's just really cool. Really love having him, and that's really quite awesome that I managed to get him by complete randomness. You've also got inclusions like the Minotaur here, as well as the Businessman, and then the Santa minifigure, as well as one of our Team GB from 2012. I wasn't lying when I said they've been around for a long time. And then you've got the Fortune Teller, the Cyclops, another missing gap, which I believe is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in this case, the Decorator, and then moving into Series 11, you've got the Yeti, Dino Waitress, Gingerbread, Mountain Climber, and Island Warrior. The Gingerbread Man and Island Warrior I actually eBayed a couple of years after this series, but considering I only had these frames since 2019, it really doesn't make a difference. Then we move into series 12, so these are the first figures that I felt, so everything from here on out is pretty much all desired. So we've got the lovely Jester, and obviously these series were linked with LEGO Minifigures Online, which was an app I actually used back in the day. You've got the Evil Wizard as well, and then the Evil Wizard from series 13, and the King, the hot dog guy whose printing is starting to go, again he was well used. The Alien Trooper, suffering from the same thing, really love his colour scheme. And then we move into the Monster series, again another all-time favourite series with such wacky designs from classic movies like the Fly Guy and the Spectre, the Zombie Pirate, and then of course the Venus Flytrap guy is absolutely amazing. Probably one of the earliest series I got the most from. And then that actually moves us into series 15, which finishes off this frame with the janitor, the shark guy, and the bandaged up clumsy guy. And that's actually the first 50 figures that I own. And you can see this is the only frame I've actually left fair spaces in. Now, what we will do is I will move this out of the way. This could be very dangerous without the perspex on. Shove it over here. And I will bring in frame number 2. And this is figures 51 to 100, and once again this is a full CMF case that actually got filled up fairly recently. This case was not full when I first got my cases. When I first made them, actually I made these in conjunction with a family member, but I like to think that I made them. It's nicer that way. As for other specs about them, obviously they are hung, but you could also just display them on the floor. That commonly happens. The whole point was to have them displayable, dust-free, but also easy access. Before this, I had my CMFs in a, what would you call it, a releasable storage box. However, that didn't really work, or at least not effectively. And then we developed this mechanism. I knew I'd wanted an opening cabinet door, and we played with the idea of opening like this, like a lot of the Wicked Brick cases. But this cost far less than a professionally designed case and does the job a treat. Okay, let's put this perspex down, and it lifts up really easily. I can even do it when it's on the wall, and then I can grab whoever I want. So we've got the Disney series here. We saw Buzz in the last case, but now we have all of the aliens and things here, along with Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Daisy. Then moving into series 16 with the Ice Queen and the Hiker, and then Banana Guy and the Babysitter, which is a really cool inclusion, followed by series 17 and the Batman movie Orca in there. With Corncob Guy all the way through to the fast food vendor, and the Elfin Queen, who used to be the custom Zelda. She's missing her shield. And then into series 18 as well, after the Highwayman, who was the exclusive for series 17. You've got the Dragon Suit Guy, who looks awesome, and then the Red Brick Suit Guy as well. Then into Harry Potter Series 1, which re-renovated some of my favourite figures of all time. Love this new Voldemort, he's absolutely spectacular. And then you've got Dumbledore, the Fantastic Beasts lineup, before the only special area in any of the frames, which is the yellow brick road for the Wizard of Oz figures, which looks awesome as well. I love this collection of 4. I wish I had the ones that had appeared in the Lego Batman movie too, but alas, we don't. This one here, I'm trying to get them out. The LEGO Movie 2 Giraffe. This is the tallest of the CMFs I own by quite a long shot. Unimaginably, he's a giraffe, so that makes sense. So actually, when we were designing the frames, he was the one we used to know how tall these shelves had to be. And then we added like a couple of centimeters, or millimeters, I should say, onto the top to ensure there was clearance if anyone taller came along. But both him and Crayon Girl were our two super tall figures that were really going to cause problems in the series. So it was he was my design muse for as far as how tall this thing needed to be, or at least each shelf. And you may notice that the bottom shelf is actually just a tad taller than any of the other shelves, and that is purely so that in the case of displaying anything else in frame 4 or one that once upon a time in frame 3, it meant I had a little bit more height room to play around with, and I could store some different things in here, like some brick built characters or some Tulu accessories and things. So it was just in for versatility and to line up the centimeters better. But anyway, we have Disney Series 2 in here with Hercules and Hades and Sally and Jack. And then Series 19, which again was another awesome series. I particularly love the Blacktron Warrior. And then that actually continues into frame 3, where we will hop now after a quick jump cut. And I thought to make it easier, I would bring both frames 3 and 4 in here. So very few more CMFs to go through. We've got DC here at the top with Joker and Mr. Miracle, as well as the Pizza Suit Guy from Series 19. Moving into Harry Potter Series 2, one of the series that I struggled to get my hands on the most. You've got the Dumbledore here, as well as Moaning Myrtle and Griphook with that sword. Then you've got Series 22, because I missed Series 21 because of COVID. So, oh no, never mind. That is Series 21. I missed Series 20. It was Series 21 that I did get with the Bee Suit Guy and the Violinist. And then that moves us into the end of 2021 with the Marvel series, and these guys were some of the newest to appear in here, and that is of course Captain Carter and Scarlet Witch. And then you've got Forest Boy here from series 22. Probably won't be picking up any of the Muppets or the Looney Tunes ones, although I was very tempted by Road Runner. And I will probably end up getting some of the anniversary ones because we're LEGO fans here. So then that brings us into the entire rest of these frames is currently custom figures. And what will happen as we go through is as more CMFs come out, these guys will get pushed and these guys will go into reserve stories, or in some cases in frame 4, they will actually go back to their sets. Currently, I'm just displaying some of my favourite pop culture figures, but you'll see those in just a second. So straight away we have some almost CMF detailed figures here, where we've got one of the 2010 Pharaoh's Quest mummies and the Swamp Monster from the 2014 Monster Fighter. We then got the custom Zelda lineup. Link is of course out and about currently. Got my little Chew down here. He doesn't get enough credit. For what he is, he's pretty adorable. I can't wait to make my proper one as soon as the splat gears come in the same colour as cones. And then on the next shelf we have a strange pick, the first of our non-figure scale items. And that is, of course, Polly Parrot from the Polly Pickup set. She's not a named minifigure, but she is super iconic, at least to me. And I wanted her in the frame, and she's special. So then you've got a load of retro figures, which I pieced together either from Bricklink or just pieces that I had found in some of the bulk lots that I've bought over the years. I'll point them out as I go. We've got this Octan guy, I believe he's OCT007 on Bricklink. Then you've got Rocket Racer guy, and both of these I had certain elements for, such as the torso or the hat. And I went on Bricklink and found the other pieces to complete them as figures. So instead of just having random parts to build customs with, I could actually have visual numbered figures, bolstering the minifigure collection. We then have King Kahuka, who I bought as a singular unit off Bricklink because he's super, super iconic and I wanted him in the collection. Now I just need to get my hands on the other iconic Islander warrior person as well. Then we have two retro figures here at the front, the retro policeman and the retro medical lady, and both of these are refurbed versions of the 1970s originals, which I had from sets in my family, and all I did was get some new face prints and clean up the torsos and hair, which had all been blue tacked and stuff, as well as apply a new sticker from an original sticker sheet. In the back we have Shellman, who I had the torso for and got the rest of the pieces off Bricklink. We've got Numpar here, who I had the hat for and then found the rest of on Bricklink. We then have two generic city guys with this amazing green visor, which I had to find off Bricklink, but I had the rest of him. This diver guy and this vintage pirate, all of which came from Bricklink pieces and bulk lots. That then moves us down to the next shelf where we've got a couple more modern figures. We have the new Iron Man, who I Bricklinked because I really like this design and didn't really want to buy the mech. We then got Groot, who again I Bricklinked as a whole figure. We then got Dolores Umbridge, who I also Bricklinked. And then we've got my custom original junk bot, which I just made out of pieces I found around my collection, including original and authentic old grey legs from 2005. You've got the Brick Friday from 2019 figure, who I was really, really excited to get, and I got him from buying the Friends Central perk along with the Rise of Voldemort in 2019. We've then got this Exoforce guy that I found at a market. You would have seen him in one of my recent hauls, as well as a old light grey dinosaur, which I bricks and pieces together. We then got the Mushroom Cow, who I'm hoping is going to be joined by some friends very soon. I'm hoping to pick up the Alex Polybag with Turtle, as well as the Guardian Battle and Bee Farm at some point in the future. We've then got Moltor from Nexonites, who I found at a market as well, and then a Lava Smasher, who I found at a market, but then found his helmet on Bricklink, and again, you would have seen that in a recent haul. We then got Ultimate Flammer, and he actually comes from the set Ultimate Flammer, which is a set I did own, purely bought for the minifigure when it was on discount at the end of Nexonite's life. Absolutely love this figure. He's insane looking, and he was even crazier with the backpack. Just displayed him here because he is just one of my favourites from that line. We then have the Hogwarts Founders. Obviously, I have the large-scale Hogwarts Castle, which you'll be seeing in a video very soon, and I wanted to display these figures full-time in a very impressive arrangement, and that's what's going on here. Such a shame these were stickers because these appeared as prints the year after, but they all look amazing, and I'm so glad that I have them. We then, of course, have two Easter figures, even though it's not Easter anymore. We've got this adorable chicken who I just had to have. I bought Steamboat Willie in 2019 to get my hands on him, as well as the Easter Bunny promo here, who you could actually buy off Lego.com for very, very cheap about 2 years ago. We then got Lester from my visit to the Lego store back in 2016, and then the Gingerbread Man and Gingerbread Wife and Gingerbread Baby, because I love the Gingerbread minifigures so much, and the Gingerbread House is probably my favourite of the Winter Village sets. Such a good build, such an amazing set, and look how adorable they are as well. So that moves us into frame 4. We're almost there, and I wonder if anyone is still watching. Where technically we have 2 more CMFs, if you want to call them that. We have one Video Series 1 bandmate and one Video Series 2 bandmate. I liked a lot of the bandmates, but really hated the box design. I got my absolute least favourite out of Series 1, which was the Bunny Dancer. And then I did alright with the Aztec Dancer from Series 2, although I would have loved the Slime guy, the Soul Dragon, or the Boombox Beatbox Head guy. That then moves us into my Marvel accessory pack, who are just here because they're really cool. We've got Spider-Man, Iron Venom, Iron Spider, no, that's not right. Spider-Man, Iron Venom, Venom, and Pork Rinds, who are all amazing figures. I love the Venomized Iron Man, and he was super cool to get outside of the Venom Crawler, I think it was. I've never had a Venom before, and I know he's super common, but I was really, really excited to get one, as well as the new Spider-Man, who I haven't had a version of since 2012, and then Pork Rind looks cool, although I probably would have preferred Spider-Ham to even out the teams a bit. We've also got the 501st Jet Trooper and 501st Trooper here, who are a recent addition to the collection. However, they are absolutely awesome. They mean so much to the LEGO community. And while I don't necessarily agree with the methods we went to get them, they're still very, very important to the history of the fan community as a whole. And they are incredible minifigures. Something about the color balancing on there, as someone that doesn't know much about the Clone Wars, these guys look great. And I have one of each displayed in the frame. We then move down to some more pop culture people. We have the figures from the mill. I need to update this with some of my other Pirates of the Caribbean figures. I would love to have Blackbeard up here. But we've got Jack Sparrow, Will Turner, Admiral Norrington, and Hadras from the mill here. Hadras, again, an incredible figure. Really glad to have him. And same for the main trio of Dead Man's Chest as well. We then have Space Mickey and Minnie. I like all my Minnie and Mickey stuff. I would have loved to get the Fire Fun ones, but I will take the Space ones very, very, very gladly. They look absolutely very amazing, and it really reminds me of my Epic Mickey days playing the games and how amazing he looked in the space outfit in that game. Really, really lovely figures. I absolutely love the way they look. We then also have a Power Miner monster. I believe his name was Infernix or Combustor. They all have very extreme names, but either way, these guys are super cool. I have another one, the red and grey one, which I'm keeping in my loose figures box, but I picked him up on Bricklink a couple of years back, just to sort of experience and have around. I remember these guys from LEGO Worlds, they're super cool. We then got 3 more vintage figures. I suppose these guys should be over on the other shelf, and once again, all 3 of these came from, I had half the pieces and then got the rest of the pieces off Bricklink. We have Maxi Engineer in the front, and then 2 unnamed city folks, obviously back from the 90s. That moves us down to shelf number 3, where we have these guys, and these guys will be very familiar to long-time watchers on the channel. All 4 of these were guys that appeared in my Christmas video on these Polynesian gift with purchases from the 1997. We have Angel, Santa, Snowman, and Tree, and they will be coming out the frame first because they're so bulky and take up so much space. But while I have space, I thought I wanted to put them in here because they're just so funny and stupid, and I love them. We then have the Disney Castle figures here, a recent addition to the frames, if not the collection. I can't believe it's been almost 6 years since I got that set. We then also have, of course, the Tinkerbell, as well as the exclusive Mickey and Minnie, who I absolutely love, the exclusive Daisy, and then the normal Donald, which was a weird choice still. Then on the 4th shelf, we have all of the Lord of the Rings figures. We have, well, not all of them, all of the Fellowship, I should say. We've got Gandalf, Frodo, Samwise, Gollum, Merry, Pippin, Aragorn, Boromir, Gimli, and Legolas. I would love to fit Saruman in here. He's a big one that I feel like should be on this shelf because I really love that figure from the Tower of Orthanc set. However, Gollum's inclusion is also important, although technically not part of the Fellowship. Which moves us down to shelf number 5, where with some more pop culture collections, we have all of the Friends as well as Janice and Gunther. I specifically chose my favourite of the 2 outfits from the sets because I have the apartments and then the Central Perk. So you'll notice that Phoebe, Rachel, and Joey are all from Central Perk, whereas Monica, Ross, and Chandler are sharing their apartments outfits. Gunther, of course, from Central Perk, and Janice from the apartments. We then also have the 6 from the T-Rex Gate, only of course missing Lex and Murphy, who of course I don't have, but these guys are amazing. Recent addition to the collections. I couldn't believe how much I really enjoyed the Jurassic Park movie, and I was so pleased to have these guys in the collection. We've got Ray Arnold, Dennis Nedry, John Hammond, Ian Malcolm, Alan Grant, and Ellie Sattler. I forgot their names there for a second, and they're all incredibly detailed minifigures. Particularly, I think I'm a fan of these 2 here, Dennis Nedry and and what's his name? I've forgotten it already. John Hammond. And of course I put the baby T-Rex here as well. So many stories over so many years, so many incredible figures in these frames. I'm so glad I finally got to show them to you, as well as the way that I store my figures, and I hope you guys appreciate learning a bit more about how I do things here in the collection. If you need any more questions about how I made the frames, please feel free to ask down in the comments below. I will happily oblige to answer them, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.